Mhm. So, in a scale of 1 to 10,
Yes.
where are we?
Is it you and me, or
Your
general?
view, your view, your view, because Steve, we are looking at it in terms of trust is key. It's a key aspect of character, which is the foundation of leadership, right? And you've given very nice analogies here of the corporate sector, of the family environment. And I specifically loved when you talked about the current leaders who look at the young people in terms of empowering them, mentoring them. They are trying to have a mind shift on their approach to leadership so as to embrace the young generation or even the whole varied generations within the work environment so that they can progress, right? Because from the examples and our readings and everything we've got, lack of trust is just total destruction. It is destruction, it is empowering among the team members, the organization, and everything. So if we have leaders who are beginning to embrace this kind of mentality, I think it's applaudable. And we've got also the family type and various. So in other words, in your view, do you see a kind of shift in the level of trust? Are we as leaders generally, are we shifting? Are we shifting our mentality towards embracing people as they are or building them so that they could progress? Are we going towards that direction?
Yes, we are. A while back, almost 7 years back, as I was joining a certain organization, I went to my colleague's desk and I found a piece of paper written there. It had this statement saying, "In God we trust, everyone else has to bring data." Now, in that organization or in that scenario, you can see trust is not going to be at the 10 level, ideally. Yeah. Your character at that particular point, it doesn't matter. Here it is, what is the data to support whatever we are going to discuss? And that's more often the case, especially in corporates. But in terms of character, which you had earlier asked, to me, trust is definitely a 10 out of 10, because it is one of the main things that first opens up my mind to accepting what you are going to say. It is the first element that gives me the opportunity to now take into account the words that you are going to share, your actions, and always look at them at the spirit that you wanted to apply the intention. What are the modern leaders doing? Yes, they are moving towards looking at trust as a key big thing, because when you earn somebody's trust, they are going to go beyond what they are simply mandated by the contract they signed of coming to work and leaving at a certain time, of doing a certain role. They will now move further to even take upon themselves engaging further to resolve customer problems. In every conversation nowadays, you talk about customer experience, you talk about how do you treat the customer, essentially, because they are the people who employ us. In whichever environment you are going to be working in, they're the ones who are going to give you your livelihood in whichever format. In itself, leaders don't engage directly with the end customer. They work through a layer of people. They work through teams who engage with them. Leaders are left for the strategic piece, for the vision, for how a company will move. And as such, they need to give the people who are going to work the level of trust for them to execute and see this vision come into life. Else, the minute they start feeling that they have to involve themselves, you find this disjointed application. You find people questioning, is it that my leader does not trust me to do the right thing? And those are the conversations now. You probably somebody says, I don't like being micromanaged. I want to be given the trust to execute what I've been mandated. Now, for a leader during this period, you now pivot to something different. You trust, but you verify. And that's why most organizations will have different arms to verify is the right thing happening, are the right processes being applied, so that we can always have a balance. You give out trust, but then again, at the same time, it's being verified. Not everyone will appreciate the level of trust that you have given them and act in goodwill. A few here and there might act out differently. And as such, even you as a leader should not take it as an indicator that all the rest will behave the same way. Don't use it as a template to treat everyone else. It just means that that person did not meet your trust expectations or failed you.
That is elaborate. That is elaborate. Yes, we are still going, and I'm enjoying the discussion now. I'm enjoying your insights. I'm appreciating the wide experience you've got in at your corporate level, because what you are talking about is real, right? What you're talking about is real. It connects, and from just experience of maybe reading here and there, it is the expectation. It is the expectation. And when you talk about the private sector and the customer experience, I really understand it, because there it is, what you put in is what you get out. As in the public sector, at times we are so reluctant because most of what you do may not be related to the end outcome of what you're seeing. There is no financial output. Even if it's financial output, you hear it from every other ministry. It is not specifically from you. And every time they try to pull and tighten the strings for you to do that, you wonder, what is now happening? Is it the leader? What is it? So I think it is a bit of, but in all, I would agree with you that the level of trust or the understanding of the connection between what we do and expectation is becoming clearer. And I think this is because of leadership. The more open they are with their communication, the more open they are with the vision of where we are going and the mission and what we have to do to get there, the more trust is, right? And the more trust, the more they entrust us with these opportunities to continue doing what we've got to do, the better we trust them, right? And you had also mentioned about people not really quitting, but promoting or getting to another job because they've had what is sufficient for them to move to another group. That also talks of trust, because you've worked with people who have built you until you are ready to progress. So with that, we would take it that trust levels are increasing, or we are doing something. We are more aware. I would talk of awareness. I would talk of awareness. We are increasingly becoming aware of the need of trust in order to build our society, beginning from our workplaces, beginning from our families. And that is a good news for us. That is good news. All right. So, Steve, would you consider yourself to be a truster or a trustee in terms of trusting others? When you are a truster, you take the risk of trusting the role to the, you take the risk of trusting. When you are a trustee, the role of the trustee is just to be trustworthy.
That's
So
very
are you a
nice.
truster or a trustee?
Predominantly, I'm a truster. In my interactions, my role when I've managed teams, I'm a truster. In very few occasions, I would say I'm a trustee. Maybe whenever I'm getting the bill to pay, that's where everyone will know that's the trustee. You'll sort us out. Yeah. But normally I'm a truster. I work through people. I work with people. And for that, actually, it pains me a lot because what tends to happen is that when the trust is broken, trying to figure out what went wrong, why did I not see it? Why did I end up giving that person my trust? More often than not, it's maybe a simple misunderstanding of what type of trust to give them. You want to be a friend to somebody and you trust them that they can be a friend to you, but then you find that it leads to certain events that were unexpected. Sometimes it feels like what they call underhanded tactics. Trust somebody will have your back. Somebody will help you to do an activity. Somebody will share the correct information with you. Somebody has the best interest of the company. And as they operate with you, they are working towards the same objective for the customer, for the same objective as what you call the company. But later you find that they are working for their own. They are looking at how they can get ahead of you, jump above you. And in those instances, believe you me, you will feel terrible because you're giving the person trust and this is how they come back and repay it. So these kind of learnings have helped me grow and understand that it is part of life. And don't take it too seriously. For a few minutes, for maybe a couple of hours, you'll reflect and try to figure out how to make sure next time it doesn't happen. But we are 7 billion of us in this world. I've only interacted with less than 100,000 on one-to-one engagements. And of those, majority of them don't break my trust. So I'm a truster, essentially.
Mhm, 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 mhm. But it's also true that at times you may need to be, or we may need to be the ones who play the trustworthy, right? That you got to prove over and over and over. It is also essential, right? At times you do it for your own self, right? And going back, I would say I am where I am today because of others. Right. For instance, Toastmasters, we are in Toastmasters. When I joined Toastmasters and I was told, hey, Jen, you've got to go through these 5 levels. And I'm like, 5 levels. This one, give me 6 months. Even 6 months is a short time. And I've cleared this one like anything. After all, what is speaking? I've got the confidence to speak. I can speak before people. And after all, I'm a doctor. And I thought that is true. And I took the first role. And then the second role, and I'm like, when you get those those feedback, and then you are told, hey, you've got to structure it this way. You must have the
Yeah.
general purpose, and you must have the specific one. And I'm like, now what is this? Then some realization comes in there that you are not as good as you thought you were.
Not.
And it is not simply getting up to go and bubble up there. You must have
Yes,
point.
yes,
Everything you
yes,
talk about must be a point. Even your
yeah.
story must be a point. Every point must have a story. It must have something to support it. And I'm like, now what is this? Am I writing another thesis or what? And after the level 1 or level 2, I took like 2 years. Then I'm like, oh my God, I'm still paying for this thing. Let me just finish it because of my money. And at a point, and then there is the mentor. And
Yes,
then you are like, at times, one is rowing this side and one is rowing backwards.
in the
And there
other
is like,
side.
and I'm like, my goodness, what is this? And then you realize it's 1 year, it's 2 years, you've not gone.
Yes,
But there are these
true.
people who are with you. Hey, Jen, when are you
Yeah,
going to do it again? When are you
true.
coming to present again? We will work with you. You can do this. You did this. You did this. And after several mistakes, I'm
Mm,
beginning to enjoy. Don't know after
mm.
how long, but I'm waking up to it. I'm now enjoying. I'm looking forward to taking roles. I'm looking forward to
True.
making this presentation. I have a goal at the end of the year. And
Yeah.
this is because I want myself to be trustworthy. I am able to do what I've committed to do. No matter how much I fall down, I get up and I continue going. And therefore, even from the truster, right? They fail you, but because of your goal as a leader, you are taking this role now. You got to be trustworthy of your position as a leader, or you yourself as a leader. You are developing yourself. So it takes, just like it takes two to tango, I think it takes two to trust, right? And it is both ends, right? The example you mentioned about someone promoting himself to another job, it's because he's trusted himself. The leaders trusted him. They worked with him. And he also did his part. So it is an exchange of roles here and there. And it takes two. And the leader, as a leader, we got to play both roles. There is the time you are up, there is the time you are down. When your people are down, definitely you are down. When your people are up, you're definitely up. So for a leader, I find ourselves to be playing both roles, and which is quite in order. Many of them have done that, and I believe we are going to continue to do this. So we are about to finish. Don't worry.